here's what we're gonna do. Okay, we're gonna review this video while we play the best game in the whole world, and that is World of Warcraft. Because obviously I want to lean into the stereotype of a fat gamer nerd. So this is this is a video from Isaac Butterfield, Australian comedian, about Drew dude, I really cannot say the name. I don't know. Afualo? I don't know. Somebody tell me how to say it. Make a video and tell me how to pronounce your name, please. Yeah. So you guys know my take on Drew. My take on Drew is I think that, like, okay, so for one, like, her content's not for me. Let's be honest, okay? That's an acknowledgement. Not particularly fond of it, even when she gets it right. I just don't care for it. I think it's like just boring to me. That's not a real criticism. That's just like a subjective feeling. It's Afualo. Is that how you say it? Okay. That's just like my subjective feeling on it, so I don't really care. However, I think that when it comes to their content, there are times where she gets it like wrong. There are times, from what I've seen, like there's plenty of times where she calls out guys who deserve it. Fresh and fit, she totally shits on them, and that's totally fine. Like, you criticize, I don't care how proportionate your response is. Or like there's like some kid who like duetted some girl on TikTok, and the girl was just doing her makeup, and the guy's like, "This is why we don't like women." Okay, we should have a soundboard to play her laugh. Me too. How do I set that up? But then there's times where she gets it like really wrong, and I think that it comes down as a creator. Like, I understand being in like content drought, so you kind of sensationalize stuff for like views or whatever, just so that you can maintain your platform. And I feel like she does that sometimes. There was a time where a guy made a joke, or two guys made like a silly joke about how they're gonna sign their girlfriend up for the draft because she likes to fight. All of a sudden, they're fucking misogynistic and like 2 minutes of like body shaming. Or there's another instance where a guy used a trend to say that like he prefers pretty fit girls over not like or fit pretty girls versus non-fit pretty girls. Like, he made sure to say that he prefers girls who are fit and pretty to regular girls who are still pretty. He made sure to call them pretty. And again, we went on like a body shaming tirade. People will be like, "Yeah, but the audio, the sound, the audio used the word trash." Like, okay, well, that's how TikTok audios work. I don't know what to tell you. But like, yeah, she gets it wrong, and that's what bothers me the most. I think it's just stupid. I think it's just like, I just think it's like, if it's not deserved, you shouldn't be commenting on it. And I think that you need to get it right, because obviously when you do that, a lot of hate is sent towards those people, which in general you should advocate against. Like, hate getting sent against the people that you criticize. That's how I like to operate my platform. But like, you brag about how people's accounts get taken down. You shouldn't really be bragging about that. It also doesn't act like, if you actually get to that's a form of cancellation. Not super personal, but if you get their accounts taken down, like, what is that just kind of usually causes them to like lean into the behavior. It's the same thing we were talking about body shaming before, and how if you body shame fat people, like the reverse happens. Like, they usually, it doesn't help them get skinny. It's not a helpful tool. But it's like the same thing as like when you shame somebody for like their content, it doesn't help them change their content. Like, and no form of cancellation is a positive experience for people. So especially people who don't deserve it, So anyway, Isaac Butterfield, yeah, that's his name. Let's watch this video on Drew. Let's see if he has some valid criticisms of Drew. Incredible. What is this? Merch? Oh, it's a merch plug. Okay.
G'day, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Isaac Butterfield, and I rarely do this, but here is a warning about this video. Do not watch it. Don't do it, all right? This is not for the faint of heart. If you have a lactose intolerance, this is not for you. Turn it off now. If you have a weak constitution, motherfucker, let me tell you this. This will ruin your life. This is the hardest video I've ever had to make. This is about the most painful TikToker of all time, the queen of the feminists. She eats misogynists for breakfast. Ladies and gentlemen, watching her content nearly made me walk out into the highway and throw myself in front of a fucking truck. Ladies and gentlemen, please let me introduce you to Drew Afualo.
I am not a big fan of the laugh. I'll say that. Okay? I'm not a big fan of the laugh.
Oh my god! That laugh, it sounds like a combination of the clown from It and some fucking evil queen that's definitely on the spectrum. So, who the fuck is Drew Afualo? Well, according to Business Insider, because they did an article on it for some fucking weird reason, Drew Afualo, TikTok's crusader of women, says she's constantly shoveling out misogyny from the app with her viral takedown videos. Ooh. Afualo, who has built up 2.6 million, well, it's now 3 million, on TikTok.
I think she's like 7 million now. think. See. Ooh, Afualo TikTok. Can't spell. Yeah, 7.1. Yeah.
It's so interesting that you say that because on the flip
I've never seen an attractive Drew fan. That's kind of funny.
side of things, I've never seen an attractive dude that fucking hates me. All of y'all look like the shit that you scrape off the bottom of a ship, and I stand by that.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, let's continue.
By critiquing sexist content on the app, began her TikTok journey by telling stories of her own negative experiences with men. Now,
you know, it's interesting. Like, if anybody, like, you know what? One thing that's frustrating though is like that Drew video. If anybody else made a video like that, they would get the video removed and they get like shit on for it. Like, if somebody, like, I've had videos get taken down because somebody says that I'm fat and I make a joke out of how I'm fat, and it's like it gets taken down for bullying, and it's like it is frustrating that like you'll get massive charitability. If you're a larger creator with, you know, fucking fans and whatnot, it's kind of stupid, you know, and especially, like, let's be honest, like, there tends to be like a more progressive bias. So if you lean into like more of a progressive field, you can be more hateful and get less like backlash. It's just more socially acceptable. And I'm not trying to be like a preachy conservative because I'm not a conservative, but you do notice it. And like, all I'm saying is it would be nice if like it was a little bit more universal, like if, you know, either allow some other people to be toxic, and I'm not talking to be toxic towards women, or like don't allow her to be as toxic, like give her a fucking kick in the ass a little bit. Like, it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean, to like drive down the hate, because right now TikTok is endorsing that type of behavior, which is more of like an issue for TikTok and its algorithm more than it is like her, if that makes sense, you know, because they're allowing her to act in that way, and it's like TikTok's like shitty bias. So this guy's an idiot. Come over here, you fucking asshole. So okay, fuck.
Sexist content they're talking about is oftentimes men making fun of women. And Drew makes fun of men in her videos. So it's okay, according to Business Insider, to make fun of men, but not okay to make fun of women. Business Insider, are you saying that women are so weak that they can't be made?
Well, I mean, okay, in her defense, outside of like the shitty times where she does it, like she'll usually try to call out people who are like, you know, saying something against women first. It's just so your argument is too like, your argument's too generalized for it.
Made fun of? That sounds very, very demeaning and rude, you fucking pigs. It snowballed into her becoming the app's unofficial misogyny and sexism watchdog, combining men's sexist comments with jokes about their hairlines and height. Uh-oh. She told Insider. Now these videos regularly rack up millions of views. Now remember, on TikTok, it's all about virality. TikTok's whole game is to keep people interested, so they'll show you as many videos as fucking possible. So if you see someone go viral on TikTok, it means nothing. Go and check out their other profiles on Instagram or YouTube. See if people really give a shit about them. Now, I am going to review some of Drew Afualo's content, some of her videos, but first, some housekeeping. Drew does encounter some sexism on the app. Some people are very rude to her and racist as well, okay? And that's not on. And the death threats she gets, listen, if you're watching this video thinking, oh, I'm gonna do Batman Solid and send her a death threat, don't be a fucking dumb fuck, all right? Don't do that. That's stupid. As for the genuine sexist and racist or whatever, like, that's good on her. You should be able to attack those people. But she attacks a lot of other people that just are having a laugh, and that's fine too. You can do that, but apparently she's doxed some people and even helped people lose their jobs. And by that I mean her followers have gone in and demanded that people lose their jobs, or at least they've been fearful of it. That's not how we do things on the internet. Just leave people alone. If you want to make a video about someone, do it, but don't try and ruin their fucking lives because they made a joke. When I was watching Drew's content, and it was tough, I found out that she was a one-trick pony, okay? What she does in her videos is she watches it, she does her evil, maniacal, it clown, autism laugh, and then she makes jokes about the dude's height. That's number one, okay? Dude's height, his hairline, either bald or balding, whether or not he has a six-pack, and basically to say, oh, you're not funny. Okay, so let's just go through and do Drew's work for her. Let's have a look at those 4 things and work out whether or not I pertain to any of them. Height. I'm 6'8", I win. Let's go to funny. I'm a comedian, I win. 6-pack. Okay, I've got a 1-pack. I've got a 6-pack under a bag of ice. I'm working on it. I'm getting there. And as far as the hairline, suck my balls, Drew. I've had words to my hairline. I'm very cognizant of the fact that it is very much stuck in reverse. I said, if you go back 1 more fucking centimeter, mate, I'm getting the clippers out and you're gone. I'm going full chrome dome mode. I'm ready for that. I've even got a tour name ready for that year that I go bald. I'm going to call it the Bald, the Beard, the Butterfield. It'll sell out for sure. I'm on tour now, by the way. Come and see me live. It's a great time. Tickets at low. Anyway, let's get to know Drew Afualo.
Feel empowered, and especially women who are thick.
I'm sorry, but there's a big difference between being thick and being obese.
Okay, so far in this video, this dude is critiquing the fact, and it's a very well-known fact, that fat obese models, I'm not talking about size 16, I'm talking about fat, giant, obese models are not a good thing for when it comes to ideas or ideals around body positivity. Why?
Well, we didn't show the whole video, so I don't know the specifics. I understand the desire to not want to advocate for being fat to be like a standard healthy of living, because we should never do that at all as a society. That would be super toxic. However, there does seem to be a lot of people who simply criticize fat women for being fat on the internet. Like, there's nothing deep about it. They're like, hey, I'm fat and I like my body. It's like, oh, wow, you should kill yourself. Like, that's kind of the thing. I don't, and like women tend to face like this in a disproportionate rate versus like men. Like, you don't really shame men for their fatness. Now, you might argue, well, men don't tend to make content about how fat they are. And like, that's true. But like, men also don't get exclusively valued or very heavily valued in society on their looks. Like, men tend to get more valued in society based on their accomplishments. So it's a little bit more complicated than that. You know, it's for a lot of people, it's like a self-esteem thing. Unless like a fat person is going like, this is healthy and this is okay, which you should never do. I don't think that you need to weigh in on like the bodies of women. So like, you know, yeah, so far we'll listen to it again. It seems like a probably going to be a valid criticism, probably a disproportionate response, but like, again, I don't really give a shit about that. Let me see it again.
Beast. In this video, this dude is critiquing the fact that it's a very
really quick.
little Drew Afualo.
Feel empowered, and especially women who are thick.
I'm sorry, but there's a big difference between being
Giant obese models are not a good thing for when it comes to ideas or ideals around body positivity. Why? Because it gives people the excuse to blow out and not give a fuck about what they're putting in their body and what type of exercise output they have in their lives. Now, this is a very woke sort of ideology, body positivity, all that shit. But you know what else is a woke ideology?
Why does it have to be a woke ideology to be like, hey, you should like accept yourself for existing? Like, the reality here is if your argument is like you want to reduce the amount of like obesity in the world, whatever, then, or in like whatever field or area that you're in, it's like proven that bullying doesn't reverse that. I don't know if you'd consider what he's doing bullying. I mean, I guess that's up for debate. I don't know if it is. I guess it's more commentary style, kind of like, but you know, it's just something to keep in mind.
That we must be terrified of a particular disease that's floating around at the moment. But how about this? Obesity and the increased risk of COVID-19. People with obesity are 46% more at risk of getting COVID-19, according to a study from August. It found that they are also more at risk of getting really sick, facing a 113% higher chance of being hospitalized, a 74% higher risk of needing to be treated in the ICU, and perhaps most troublingly of all, a 48%, nearly 50% increase in the risk of death. So yes, it's nice to have Tess Holiday running around with a big fat folds flipping and flopping everywhere, but you are 50% more likely to die if you get the Rona. And guess what? The Rona's everywhere. So Drew, pick a side. Which is healthier?
do whatever the fuck you want to do with your body. Nobody's stopping.
That's where that should have stopped. That's where this garbage video should have ended. Unfortunately for all of us, it did not. But that's okay, because the universe brought you to me.
Oh my God, that fucking laugh. When did you start doing that? Your 11-year-old audience just was like, oh my God, have you heard? Oh, she's so funny, the way that she laughs. It's so great, the way that she laughs. Now, I don't know for sure if all of her audience is female. Let's have a look. Holy fucking shit, 95%. Okay. I hate to say it, ladies, but you
are we gonna get to see like the core video she was reacting to versus like her video? Like, that's what you need to do for like full context of that.
Are easily entertained. Now, I know I said before that most of the females who follow her are probably 11 years old. That's probably not right. I think you have to be 12 to join the app, so they're 12 years old.
I cleared a spot.
I think you'd be surprised. Like, at the end of the day, and I talked to my wife, but at the end of the day, like, even I've talked to my wife about Drew. That's just the reason I looked into Drew. But I talked about Drew, and like one of the things I told her is I think that there are times where she just like she goes after people who don't deserve it, which is probably a different versus what this guy thinks of like doesn't deserve it versus what I do. And she's like, you know, honestly, I just don't give a shit because I'm kind of tired of like men online talking shit about women, so I really don't fucking care. And like, yeah, I disagree with that, obviously. But like, it's a lot of I think like older women who follow Drew that are just kind of tired of the social narrative being dominated by men talking shit about women. So, you know, I'm just saying, I don't think that like all of her audience is just a bunch of young people. I do find the voice annoying and all that, but like, you know.
Not for you, brother. I cleared my sketch because you came from my fucking girl Tess. Not on my watch.
Whoa, hold on a second. Is she non-binary? No, I don't think she was. I thought she was. I was gonna make a gender joke, but you know, we killed it. Sorry.
But let's get this out of the way. Tess Holliday is one of the most famous models in the world. Did you hear what I said? In the world, bitch.
Yes, she's famous for being a giant fat fuck. Go on.
I peeped the Instagram and all your garbage content, and I can tell from your pictures that you're strong 5'5", like on a good day. And I'm guessing from those feet that your shoe size is probably what, like an 8, 8.5? Yeah.
So she's attacking a dude for body shaming somebody else, and she's doing that by body shaming someone. Listen, I don't care. Body shame away. But if you're gonna, you know, do a big song and dance about how great you are because body shaming is bad and then go and do it, you're a big fucking hypocrite, Drew.
If it can't make it past...
I don't know, man. I don't know if I know if... The reason I don't know if I agree with that, I think she would go more with the lines of like unwarranted body shaming is what she's talking about, which in this case you could say it's warranted. Like honestly, it's a very human thing and it's probably not ideal, but you know, realistically speaking, it's like the talk shit get hit kind of a thing, and it's like one of those things where I remember I used to do resets for Stop and Shop, and I remember being at Stop and Shop, and this woman started talking to us for like whatever, I don't even know why, and she was just talking, and she like was saying this weird thing, and she was weird. We ended up, or she got in a conversation with like a coworker of mine, and one of the things she talked about is how she's like a black friend. And when they were mad at each other, they wouldn't just call each other a bitch. Like she would call her a black bitch, or the friend would call her a white bitch. And she's like, you know how it is? Like you just kind of throw whatever extra word in there, you know. So I guess it's kind of like that. It's you know, just the maximum, I don't know, shaming effect or something. I don't know if I necessarily call it hypocritical. It's not ideal. I don't think that it's going to have the outcome of reducing, like, you know, misogyny on the app. You could probably make an argument that it's going to. It's probably going to increase misogyny because it's going to cause like a group of people to try to like go after like a backlash. But like, you know, I don't really care about that for people who like, if you don't talk shit, get hit kind of a thing. Let me try Celestial Flames. Dude, you don't need to pull that, you stupid fucking idiot. But okay.
Past the cheeks, you could just say that, bro.
Well, unless you have a micro penis, probably the reason you can't make it past the cheeks is because old love has had too much cheesecake.
You also said that you think it's selfish of her to look like that because you don't want your future kids to grow up in a world that idolizes people like her. You know what's actually selfish? Looking like Bob the Tomato from VeggieTales and thinking that you're at the top of the list when it comes to picking partners.
You know, honestly, I think I changed my mind about something about Drew. Her criticisms aren't like really good. Like you could make better criticisms than like that. That's the problem. She's not particularly clever. I think that's my bigger issue with her. Like she's not even like clever. She's just like, oh, you look ugly, but he's not really ugly. So you probably should have thought for like a couple of seconds about what you wanted to say to this guy, so that your criticism would have come off like a little better. Oh, got Celestial Flames. Whoa, I hate it. I don't like it at all. It doesn't look good at all.
Just to procreate with, bitch.
I don't know who Bob the Tomato is, but what does the way that someone else look like have to do with the fact that he is being 100% factual with what he's saying? Being obese will eventually kill you, and therefore promoting it to a young audience like yours is...
Yeah, like she didn't even really make a point. Like I don't think that she really brought up at... I don't think that she really brought up at any point that like why you shouldn't be commenting on bodies and how you should just like whatever, keep it to yourself. Like she didn't really make a point. She was just kind of being stupid. Okay. I mean, I guess that's a criticism too. All right.
Terrible. So, fuck you to the moon, Drew.
All right, let's see. Obesity tolerated. Depression is glorified. Drug addiction is trendy. Let's do the rest of it. What is the last one? Why am I like fucking blind? Maybe my fat's clogging my... But Alpha's getting shamed. I mean, this is one of those things where I feel like it's not really a warranted criticism because he's not directly criticizing somebody. He's talking about like general trends. So he's not really being antagonistic. You know, like you're like more than anything else. So this is probably going to be a dumb video.
All right, let's go back and have a look what this dickhead who took his shirt off for no reason said in his video. Obesity is tolerated. I'd go further to say it's actually championed. Depression is glorified. Well, maybe in some circumstances. I know people hear a lot of people going, oh, I'm depressed, I'm depressed, I'm depressed. They do it with, oh, I'm anxious,
Bro,
oh, I've got
ADHD.
ADHD. You know people who don't whinge a bitch about being depressed and anxious and having ADHD? People who actually have depression, anxiety, and ADHD. Those people are living tough lives, and all the power to you brothers and sisters out there. Keep fucking striving forward. It'll get better. Drug addiction, trendy, maybe. When I was younger, I went out with my mates. All of them couldn't go to nightclubs without a handful of pills, so maybe it is. And being alpha is shamed. Okay. Being alpha should be shamed. And I'll tell you why. If you think you're an alpha, you're not. Actual alphas, leaders of the pack, are ones that go about their business daily by helping other people and making them better versions of themselves. That's an alpha. That means your dad can be an alpha, or your mum can be an alpha, your sister, your wife. It doesn't.
I mean, by this logic, like it's not a very alpha move to body shame because it doesn't have the outcome of helping people. So.
Fucking matter. Being someone who leads from the front, that is an alpha.
First off, obesity is tolerated. Is it? Is it?
Are you asking me? Yes. Yes, it is. And did you notice how her reaction to that, rather than talking about it and explaining it or even arguing the point, her reaction is to go blah, 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 blah.
What exactly is your definition of tolerance? Making your entire personality about drinking pre-workout and hating fat people for existing?
You know, people have said this about me, that I hate fat people, and it couldn't be further from the truth. I dedicate some...
I'm trying to think. Like, yeah, I think obesity is like normalized in like a way where it shouldn't be. I don't think we're having the right conversation around obesity. Like, it needs to be like, it's okay if you're fat, like, that's totally fine. Like, it is what it is. Like, you should try to work to be healthier and, like, whatever that is, you know, the best you can. I feel like we don't really have that conversation really well. Like, most of the time, if a fat person is just existing, you'll have, like, reactionary people be like, oh my God, bleh, disgusting. You're normalizing it. And it's like, well, you know, fat people do exist. So what we need to do is, like, normalize the cure for being fat. You know what I mean? Like, normalize like healthy, you know, the cure, maybe like provide more educational resources, maybe not just like shit on fat people for existing. Because like, honestly, a lot of times too, like it's such a weird thing, but you know, I don't know. It's like a vibe I get. I probably can't substantiate it. So you can take it with a grain of salt, but, it feels like in a lot of situations, there's like the same people who body shame fat people on the internet. It's like generally seem to hate fat people, honestly. Sorry, I'm just reading something. And I don't know. It doesn't feel like it creates a comfortable environment like in the gym space. I don't know. Like that's the way that I get it. Like a lot of times, like it's to a point where like it feels uncomfortable to go into a gym. Like, because it feels like you're going to be shamed. Like, that's a feeling that people get, and it keeps people away from the gym, honestly. So, yeah, man. I'm just saying.
Videos to actually helping people to lose weight, because it'll allow them to live a longer life. Because I don't want you dying in your 40s from heart disease. Okay? I understand why Drew's mad at this. She should be a girl herself, right? She's probably struggled with the weight.
That's like, and that's a question that, like, you know, it's not going to be answered, but I'm just saying, like, do you really care? Or do you really care that, like, fat people are going to die of, like, heart disease? Or does it give you, like, a nice kind of cool excuse to, like, criticize fat people? You know, I'm not replaying the storyline. What am I, a fucking cuck? Get the fuck out of here.
A whole life, but take sex out of it, male or female. You cannot live a healthy life as an obese person.
And of course, the fucking alphas shamed. Here's a fun fact: alphas don't exist. Not even in the wild, bitch.
What? Wolves, lions, fucking sea lions, galahs. They all have a leader. That's the alpha. It doesn't mean anything about being male, all right? You can say alpha male, you can say alpha female, you can say alpha or male. I don't give a fuck. But it is a fucking thing, so shut up.
A key that opens many locks is a master key. A lock.
Bro, are you about to defend Fresh and Fit with this like dumb fuck? With this? Come on, bro. What the fuck is this? Okay. Are you gonna defend Fresh and Fit, man? Okay. I mean, like, I've heard the key lock thing over and over again. It's just a way to put down women. Like, at the end of the day, who fucking cares? Having a lot of sex, or having sex with a lot of people, you're a whore in general. It doesn't matter if it's, like, easier for women to have sex versus not easier. Like, your master is increased by those. Okay, I should probably look at the other ones.
That opens to any key is a shitty lock.
Okay, so I'm basically saying for a dude to have his dick go into a lot of people, he has to be very charming and charismatic and special, right? And that's a fair point. And for a lady to have their lock or vag intercepted by a lot of people, they don't really have to do much, and that might be a bit of a turn off for some people. Now that is a matter for each person. Like, whatever. If you want to cop heaps of dicks, all the power to your sister, brother, or whatever. But here's the thing: for a man to go to a nightclub and
all right, you don't see the problem in like. You don't see the problem in shaming women for wanting to have sex? Like, isn't it so counterintuitive to shame women for being horny? Because it reduces, like, male sexual selection? Like, it's just weird. I don't understand. Like, it's not like they're making a fundamental argument of, like, hey, I don't prefer people who've had a high body count in general. That's fine. But that's different than being like, any woman that has a high body count is disgusting and more disgusting than a man. Having a high body count doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can fuck a bunch of people. The issue with having a high body count is that it's gross because you have a higher chance of like STDs or something, which is something applicable to both men and women. So like, I don't understand. That's kind of cool. I don't get it. Like, you're kind of leaning into what they're saying. Like, it's just the I mean, bro, it's just like, really, you're gonna defend Fresh and Fit? I couldn't be me, honestly.
Pick up a lady. He has to be charming. He has to be funny. He has to be good looking. He's got to be fit. He's got to be dressed nice, smell nice. He's got to buy a drink. He's got to have money in his account, all that type of shit. And maybe he'll get a root after the third date after he's paid some money in the form of dinner. For a lady, all you have to do, right? Ladies, you ready for this? All you have to do is be above a 4 and walk in and say, who wants to fuck me? You will be inundated with dick. Us men are charitable people. Any hole's a goal. That's a male phrase. Have you ever heard that before? Any hole's a goal? That's a male thing to say. No ladies run around going,
I mean, that sounds like a whore to me, right? If you like fucking anybody with like no standards, that sounds like a whore to me. I don't know. This is just a kind of a hot take. I just feel like it's just weird to me. Because the cake smash cooldowns are set instantly and 8% increased damage first. Okay.
going, oh, any dick will do the trick. No way, just men. We're charitable, nice people.
This dude is easily the most insufferable dude I've ever seen on any form of media. Worse than Joe Rogan. Because on top of the fact that he is
Hey. What did you say about my Joe Rogan?
painfully fucking single. This man hasn't seen or touched women in I don't know how fucking long. It's so evident.
That's homophobic, Drew.
He is also balding. Like...
Drewy, can I call you Drewy, babe? Again with the men with the receding hairlines. You're talking about something that men cannot control. It's in their DNA, love. For someone who promotes body positivity all the time, the fact that you're body shaming men, it's a real shame. But yeah, I don't really give a fuck, but the fact that you're running around like some boss bitch warrior, that you're some mad dog, thinking you're real cool because you're saving the world and protecting people, no, you're just a mean fuckers doing the exact same thing to other people.
Hey! So I want to talk to y'all about something that's...
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, I mean, just feel like, bro, I feel like you're disagreeing, just disagree at this point. Like, I get it, she's body shaming, like, shitty men. Like, there's no better criticism. Like, they're fucking horrible. It's Fresh and Fit. They're dumb as shit and they're sexist. I don't know, dude. It just feels like, bro, it wouldn't be me, man. Like, I just feel like, dude, they're so bad. We've talked about it a lot, but...
It's like funny, but also, not.
Oh, for fuck me dead. I cannot watch this shit. No, you're just a mean fuckers doing the exact same thing to other people.
Hey! So I want to talk to y'all about something that's like funny, but also, not.
Oh, for fuck me dead. I cannot watch this shit much longer. Honestly, it's doing my fucking head in.
Women, children, and dogs are loved unconditionally. A man is only loved under the condition that he provides something.
Do y'all hear?
That tends to be true. I think I can agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a truth. It's like one of the negatives of being a man. If you don't really provide anything, you're seen as useless. Like, you know, that's why when it comes down to I think people who are in the what is it called? My fucking ass. When you see like people that are on like welfare and whatnot, like it's harder for men to get on like welfare programs and stuff. Like, we tend to value men very heavily based on their ability to contribute to society. Women get like a bit of a pass. You know, it's one of the, you know, there's pros and cons to being a man and a woman. So, you know.
Hear that? It's the world's tiniest violin. God, bro, men are...
See, I disagree with you, big bad Drew. Men go through issues. And what old mate was saying in that video is that everyone else in the world, the females, the children, get loved unconditionally, and yet men don't, unless they add value. Maybe that's one of the reasons that men kill themselves disproportionately to women. So yeah, sometimes it needs to be about...
Yeah, kill yourself. Just kidding, don't do that.
Blokes as well. Now, it's not just TikTok where Drew carries on like the worst human alive, it's also her amazing podcast. Now, I forgot what the name of it was, but I'm sure it's very memorable. 2 Idiot Girls. Wow. May I recommend episode 2? It's a real laugh, breaking the chokehold of internal misogyny. Or, my favourite whinging episode, number 3, women aren't allowed to literally like anything. Drew, you are by far the most painful human being and worst feminist that I've seen in a long time. You have amassed a giant audience on TikTok by not making any jokes, not by making any points, just by being there and slightly complaining. People sit back at their home as they scroll through TikTok, not even really giving a shit about what you say. They just hear your stupid fucking laugh and go, yeah, yes, queen, she nailed it. In closing, fuck you to the moon, Drew. I hope you have a lovely day, though. Ladies and gentlemen, come and see me live. I'm all over the country. Australia and New Zealand 2022, baby. The link is down below. Be a good motherfucker. Peace. The Middle East, me dick stinks. And you want to cover up that bald spot? Get this new hat. It's out now.
All right. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that was something. I mean, like, I don't know how much I like agree with his. I mean, some of his shit just seemed to be like the fresh and fit defense was like probably the worst one. The other ones were okay, I guess. Well, obviously the last one I agree with, but yeah, I mean, like I think this is kind of the problem here is that a lot of time I mean personally I don't think that the presentation was particularly good. You know, I feel like when I made my video about Drew, it was probably received better, a little bit more intelligently. But you know, a lot of it leaned into the laugh, like, which is annoying, yeah. But it's like, why make that like your main focus if you're actually trying to make a criticism of Drew and change like the narrative, then you'd probably try to be a little bit more like reasonable in your defenses. Unless you're just trying to kind of cater to your audience, and in that case, you're probably just like saying whatever, just like what you know your audience will like. So that's what it just felt like to me a little bit. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and another special shout out to all my Patreon and Twitch subs. If you'd like to support this channel further than you already have by just watching the video alone, go down to the links below where you can sub on my Patreon, which will allow you to get your name on this beautiful black wall. Or you can go to the Twitch page and you can actually use a free Amazon Prime sub, if you have Amazon Prime, to subscribe. Thank you very much, guys. Take care.